Hello fellow Guardians, the Season of the Deep may have you feeling like Aquaman, but this build will have you playing like Raiden, turning you into a legitimate thunder god. It's your boy Old Man Sim here with another Destiny 2 build video. This time, we go back to our hunter with this insane Arc Strider build that will have you running like the Flash and striking down enemies as if you were Thor. But first, if you could hit that subscribe button as we push for 500 subs over here, make sure you hit that notification bell to keep you notified of a new video or a live stream coming up, because I will be live streaming here more. And leave a comment below about the build or anything Destiny related. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's something you'd like to change. Tell me another build you want to see. I do respond to all comments. And lastly, I do stream over on Twitch, on Kick, and here on YouTube. You can catch me anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, and mainly over on Twitch and Kick is where you will see a lot of Destiny content, some variety mixed in. I've been playing some Tears of the Kingdom. I have some other cool things coming up. But yeah, come hang out. Let's have some fun. Let's run a raid together. Let's play a game. Let's do some Crucibles, some Iron Banner, a dungeon, whatever you like. I like playing with viewers. I like playing with new people, meet new people. Just come hang out. Come over by the stream. Say what's up. All right, let's get back into the video and the build. As you saw in the intro, this build is constantly clearing the battlefield, chaining lightning throughout entire rooms, destroying every enemy you see. In my opinion, this is the best Arc Hunter build this season and possibly beyond. If you need to solo clear the Ghost of the Deep to get the Triumph, this is the build for you. This is just an amazing build. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It just melts everything. It just keeps you alive. It's so much fun. Just so much fun. But now let's get into the artifact perks. All right, here are the artifact perks we use for this season. Honestly, this artifact is very set up for Arc, so you're going to see a lot of damage, a lot of Arc friendly perks. So first and foremost, I started out with the anti-barrier auto rifle because I am using a ℂ𝕆𝕋 auto rifle. I don't have an Arc one for my kinetic, so I am using that. That is also why we are using the Deeper Origins, because the ℂ𝕆𝕋 has the ℃𝕆𝕃 traits. This improves the benefits of the ℃𝕆𝕃 traits if I do end up using the ℂ𝕆𝕋, because I really don't use it that much except to stun a barrier if I need to. Unstoppable hand cannon and overload scout rifle, that's up to you how you want to do your build. Maybe you want to run a primary hand cannon, there you can have your unstoppable. Primary scout, you can have your overload, but this build will automatically be able to stun overloads for you, so you don't necessarily need that. Our first mod is going to be the authorized mod for Arc, because all of our Arc mods that we use only take up 1 charge, which we'll be using a lot of Arc mods for this build. And also we'll be using melee mods. Any melee mod will only cost 1 charge as well, because we will be using a significant amount of melee mods as well. Like I said before, the Deeper Origins perk is for the ℂ𝕆𝕋, but you can honestly use anything right here. If you're using a strand weapon or if you're using a void weapon, whatever you may choose. The big perks, these are the big 5-6 perks that you do need with this build. Number 1, amped up. Stay amplified longer while your Arc subclass is equipped. This means when you get amplified, you will stay amplified and you'll be moving like the Flash. You'll be running all over the place. Thunderous Retort grants bonus Arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified. Lasts until the end of the super activation. So your super, you're amplified, you have the amplified running very long, you do your super, boom, you do more damage. You're about to die, you throw your super out there, boom, you're doing more damage. Counter charge, which is one of the perks that's on all my builds this year, this season I should say. Gain a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion. Armor charges are big. As more armor charges you have, the better. Electric armor, gain damage resistance while amplified. So we're going to be getting amplified, we're going to be staying amplified, hence we'll be having more damage resilience. This build's going to do crazy amount of damage resilience. You'll be able to sit in the second encounter, third encounter of Ghost of the Deep and just stand there and just take hit after hit after hit after hit. Whether you need to go in for the revive or just for the kill. Shock and all, Arc final blows where you're amplified, summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. And jolts, what they do is they stop overloads. So you'll be constantly being amplified. You'll constantly be producing jolts, whether it be through this or your weapons or the other perks they'll be using. It's just crazy. You'll just be damaging everything, destroying everything. And lightning strike twice. After throwing an Arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc final blows extend the duration of this benefit. So you're doing all the Arc damage, you throw your Arc grenade out there, you boom, 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 you light some people up. Your Arc grenade will start recharging even quicker from the get-go. It's like having a built-in kickstart pretty much. These are the artifact mods that I like using. To me, you can, like I said, you can maybe switch these up. You can switch this up for something else, but this is just what I like to run. Everything else I think honestly is mandatory. It just makes this build absolutely ridiculous. All right, guys, in the Arc Strider subclass, we will be doing Gathering Storm, which you hurl your arc staff forward, embedding it into surfaces or large targets and jolting nearby targets. After a short time, a devastating lightning bolt strikes the staff, overcharging with arc energy. While overcharged, your staff discharges lightning at nearby foes. Not only will you throw your staff in and you hit the ball so that it'll jolt it, it'll knock off any armor if it has any. It'll just start making electricity explosions all around. It's just absolutely phenomenal. You throw it in the ground near a boss, it'll just destroy everything around it. You throw it at that overload champion, you're automatically gonna jolt it. But that won't be our only way of generating jolt, but it just makes this, especially when you have the artifact perk to where you're low on health or you're amplified, it just makes this even more destructive. It's an awesome super, especially with the perks and the add-ons that we have right now going on in Season of the Deep. All right, so we'll be doing Marksman's Dodge. You dodge, automatically reload your weapons. Triple jump, which is, to me, if you're not running triple jump on a hunter, I don't really know. I think it's just the best jump on a hunter, period. We'll be doing Combination Blow, a quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage when defeating a target, stacking 3 times. Defeating targets with this ability also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. You'll punch somebody, you'll kill them, you'll get your class energy back, you'll also get a small amount of health. You'll see them disappear in a little burst of lightning. It's very synergistic with this build. And Arc Bolt Grenade, a grenade that chains bolts of lightning to nearby targets. That is a big part of this build. You'll just see lightning chained on chain on chain, and everything will just be getting lit up, destroyed. You'll be getting jolt. You'll just be destroying everything on the battlefield. All right, to aspects, we're going to be using Lethal Current, a sliver of fulgurite, carved by lightning strike precisely and do not relent. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range, jolts the target, and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolting target with melee attacks also blinds them. So use your Marksman Dodge to dodge. You're gonna get a little bit of health back from the exotic that we're using. You're gonna get a little bit of overshield. You're gonna look extended melee, so you'll jolt the target. You'll blind the target as well. It's just crazy. And blinding blinds unstoppables. So there you go. Our jolt is going to get our overloads. Our blinding is going to get unstoppables. Then we have our auto rifle for anti-barrier. One weapon, but we're able to get everything we need done within the build. And then finally, for our second fragment, it's going to be Flow State, a gleaming amulet with a mantra inscribed. You control your breathing and the world slows to a crawl. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you're amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly and you're more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. Marksman Dodge, reload. You're going to be amplified. You're going to do more damage. You're going to have more for your super. You're going to have more health. Your reload speed is going to increase. You're going to get your melee back. You're going to get your dodge back. It's just very synergistic. It's absolutely amazing. So you're continuing to use that combination of jolted and amplified, that the artifact perks, along with different weapon perks we have and the mods we're going to use, it's just going to literally make everything explode into dust and just keep you alive, keep your ammo full, just keep you knocking down enemies to where we do crazy damage. I mean, I think this build did over 6 million damage twice in the Ghost of the Deep when I first tried it out. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, on to the fragments. We use Spark of Resistance, so while you're surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. So another thing of this damage mitigation that we're doing, you're surrounded, you're killing things, you're going to be more resistant, you're going to have more resilience. It's also going to give you a boost to 10 strength, so your melee is going to recharge a little bit faster. Up next, we have Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. You're sitting there, you're hurting, you're about to die, you're on your last leg, you're able to get that grenade back, get that melee back, you're able to throw that grenade, cause a jolt, cause amplified, you're able to get out of dodge, hit that dodge, get your health back. It's just going to be a constant allowing you to recharge and get your health back. Spark of Amplitude, rapidly defeating targets while you are amplified creates an orb of power. So as stated before, you're going to be staying amplified. So while you're amplified, not only are you going to do more damage with your super, you're going to have some more abilities regenerate quicker, but you're going to be creating orbs of power, which does all of that as well, but also charges the different things in your mods that we're going to be using on your hunter. And lastly, Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. Plus a big one, it gives you 10 extra resilience. So with this, you get that extended melee after you kill somebody, then boom, you go and you kill somebody, you get up close, they hurt you, you're able to hurt them. You're able to stay alive in those tight quarter situations and constantly killing enemies, get your recharges back. But also it gives you that resilience boost, which is right there, a 10 resilience boost. That's one general armor mod you wouldn't have to use if you need to use that. Alrighty guys, on to the weapons. Now with this build, I've already mentioned for my auto rifle, I do use, in my kinetic stock, I use auto rifle 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼, just because I like that it has noble deed, so I'm using the artifact perk that I get from it. It gives me the anti-barrier rounds if I need it, which you will need it, but if you're with a crew, you might not necessarily need it. But if you are going for that Ghost of the Deep, master dungeon solo clear, then you'll definitely need it. So this build is built around the Risk Runner. The Risk Runner to me is absolutely phenomenal. It's a submachine gun. Obviously it's arc. It'll go and it'll chain lightning damage over and over again as you destroy people. The intrinsic trait of the Risk Runner: when taking arc damage, this weapon becomes more powerful and resists incoming arc damage. Kills extend the time in this overcharged state. So basically you're in, let's use Ghost of the Deep again. You're in Ghost of the Deep. Everything's shooting arc at you. It's making your weapon more powerful, but also as you're taking the arc damage, you're taking less damage from it as well because you're getting an arc damage resistance. Superconductor: when arc conductor is active, shots fired have the chance to become chain lightning and return ammo. So arc conductor will stay up. You'll be getting chain lightning kills from your Risk Runner. Ammo will be going back into your Risk Runner. You'll be shooting more projectiles with your Risk Runner. Then you'll stay overcharged longer because you're getting more kills. You're just keeping that arc resistance. You're just able to sit there and take damage while you're just melting everything around you. This gun honestly is one of my favorite guns that you can use in Destiny 2. It's a really, really good ag clear gun. It's the first ag clear gun I used on the Root of Nightmares raid. This and the Osteo. To me, this is just this great gun. You can pretty much burn down anything and any kind of content with this build. I'm going to show you a different variation of it as well. And then for the heavy, I am running an interference grenade launcher. This one has full court and clown cartridge. I really don't have a great weapon to put here, to be honest with you. I really do enjoy this though. It does end up putting a lot of damage out for me, but you can really use any arc weapon right here and you'll be fine. Now there is a second way to set up this build, which I also like a lot. So say you're going for the boss and you're going for boss damage, you're at the final encounter of Ghost of the Deep. What I will do is I will switch over to my 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼 and my Thunderlord. So with my 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼, you need to get Volt Shot on there. So what this does is reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges this weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt when its next hit. So you'll kill somebody, you'll reload, and then you'll shoot and you'll get jolt, and you'll start getting those almost as if you had a Risk Runner. You'll get those jolts, you'll get the chain lightning, you'll get the electricity, you'll just start getting those explosions, you'll just start killing everything around you. So the 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼 with Volt Shot will actually get you a lot of the same effects that you'll get as if you were using Risk Runner. You don't get that extra damage, obviously, damage resistance or the extra damage from it, but you get a lot of the other properties from it. So you don't get that little extra protection, you don't get that little extra damage output, but you do get a ton of chaining, a ton of destruction, and it's very viable. I've run a lot of times, I've run it with just this as a test as well, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And then if you do it this way, you'll be able to use your Thunderlord for your arc heavy weapon, and the Thunderlord is absolutely amazing. There's so many bosses you go up against. People are like, you have Thunderlords, because it's just a really, really, really good heavy machine gun. So first and foremost, the intrinsic trait on the Thunderlord is final blows with this weapon generate stunning lightning strikes from above, strong against overload champions. So this is another way you're going to stop overload champions. But as it says, final blows, you'll kill an enemy and then a streak of lightning will come down and just start killing other stuff around it. So it's just pretty phenomenal in that way. And then also lightning rounds. This weapon fires faster and more accurately the longer the trigger is held. Initially generating damage generates stunning lightning strikes. So you're just holding it down to the boss, you're creating lightning strikes, plus all the extra arc damage you're getting, plus the jolt you're getting and everything else. It's just a phenomenal weapon. It puts out a lot of damage, and it synergizes with this arc build really well, obviously because it's an arc-based weapon. But this is the setup that I would use if I was going up against a boss. Now, if I was just ag clear, like I said before, I would just stick to the Risk Runner and go like this. This is just as viable as anything else. But if you find yourself having trouble burning down higher end enemies, or you want to put out a little bit more DPS, you can go over and switch to this and this. And this is actually how I was putting out over 6 million damage in Ghost of the Deep against the boss on myself. I was putting out nearly 7 million damage. It's ridiculous. You're just going to clear everything, you're going to kill everything, and then your Thunderlord's just going to and just destroy everything. All right, for this build, like most builds, I try to shoot for 100 resilience if at all possible. I hate that I have 3 left over. We'll work on that. I'm always trying to get the best gear possible. I'm always trying to get a little bit upgrade here or there to eliminate dead stats. Then you want to get your grenade back as soon as possible. You want to strive to get that closest to 100 as possible. That way you can keep your grenades back, or some of our mods will allow us to get that back quicker. Plus some of the artifact perks and the fragments that we're using as well help with that as well. And then you want to get your mobility up as high as possible. A lot of time with your hunter, you want to do that so you can get your movement speed and your dodge. This way at 70, it's pretty good. It's a 28% increase. That way we're able to get that dodge back quicker. We're able to get that overheal quicker that we're going to get from our exotic. But I would definitely say that these are the 3 stats that you really want to work on. Definitely get resilience to 100, get discipline as high as possible. And as long as you get your mobility 60 to 70, I think you'll be all right. You'll keep your dodge up enough that you won't have to worry about it with everything else. But the higher, the better. If you get a triple 100 stat rolls, I would go for these 3. But definitely, like I said, resilience and then discipline and then mobility. But I like where the roll's at really now for this build. It's really hard to die, if I'm honest with you. Literally a thunder god. Now we're going into the exotic that this build is built around. This build is built around the Wormhusk Crown, which the perk is Burning Souls. Dodging gives a small amount of health and shield bump. So what you do is you dodge, you'll get about a half health regen, and you'll get a little arc shield around you for a little bit. So you'll have a little shield as well. Now, a lot of people will say use Assassin's Cowl on this, and that's a really good alternative as well. That where you get, I believe you get melees, you get health, a full bar of health back, and you get some shield. I just prefer the Wormhusk Crown because it's not necessarily, you don't have to be punching the entire time. If you need to stay away, you need to create jolts from afar. You don't need to rely on that for your health. You can just dodge left or right. And I find myself dodging a lot more. Not that I don't punch a lot, but I just find myself dodging a lot more. So I find it more viable for me. And I like using the Wormhusk better. Like I said, I know the healing isn't as good as you would get from an Assassin's Cowl, but and I know a lot of the builds out there build around that, but I prefer the Wormhusk Crown in this situation. But you can use either or, honestly, and both will work great for this build. All right, let's get into armor mods. And as always, general armor mods, you can use whatever you need to use to get your stats where you need them to be. Sometimes it takes a little bit of working around to put this mod on here, this mod on there, to get your stats exactly where you want, so you can be able to use the mods that you need for this build. Let's get into the helmet mods. I like to use ashes to assets. You gain super energy on grenade kills. We will be having grenade kills from spamming our arc grenade. Dynamo reduces super cooldown when you're using your class ability near targets. You're going to be around people a lot. You're going to be causing that chain lightning. You're going to be using those melee abilities. You're going to be using those grenades. So you'll be getting your super back much quicker, which your super will be really powerful because you'll be either amplified or low on health from a lot of the close combat. And then harmonic siphon, rapid arc final weapons, final blows create an orb of power. So we'll be using our Risk Runner, our Thunderlord, our 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼. We'll be getting a lot of final blows that are arc, and so we'll be getting a bunch of orbs of power. You can also use the arc siphon as well. It's the same thing, but since we're using arc already, harmonic's going to choose whatever build, whatever subclass of the build you're using. So we're using arc, I just pick harmonic. You can just easily pick arc siphon. It doesn't really matter in that situation. All right, on to the gauntlets. I use heavy-handed. Your orbs, your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. So if you do those final melee blows, boom, you get an orb of power, which is great. So we have that twice, so we get more orbs of power. It really creates the potency of the orbs of power, I should say. Then lastly, we're gonna do focusing strike. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. So you cause damage with a melee attack, you don't even have to kill them. You'll end up getting more ability energy and just constantly keep those abilities up and up and up and up and continuing. All right, as for the chest piece, I use 2 melee damage resistance mods and a harmonic resistance, which will be arc. Well, especially if you use this Ghost of the Deep, you'll be taking a lot of arc damage. So I use that. The reason why I do the 2 melee damage resistance mods is because we are going to be up close and personal a lot more than we want, especially with the submachine gun. It's a shorter range, so it'll be closer as well. But with these, you can use any damage resistance that you like. I just like using these 2 with the harmonic, aka the arc resistance. You can change it to 2 arcs if you want to as well, if you find yourself not living as long, especially in a Ghost of the Deep type scenario. But really, I always try to say the damage resistance is up to you. All right, and now for your leg armor, what I do is I like to use 2 arc weapon surges. Your arc weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. We'll be having armor charge, we'll be creating extra armor charge. So our arc weapons will be doing a little bit more damage. And like I said, I stacked that twice with 2 of those. And then I also have repercussion, which replenishes health each time you pick up an orb. We'll be shitting a lot of orbs, so therefore we'll be getting a lot of health as well. We're getting a lot of class regenerations as well, super regenerations. But in this case, we'll be getting the health regeneration for it, which really turns out sweet. And then lastly, guys, we have the Hunter Cloak. And with this, I use Font of Restoration. Collecting Orb of Power causes you to gain 1 temporary armor charge. You gain a bonus to recovery when you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. So therefore, the Orbs of Power will be granting us armor charges, along with everything else Orbs will be granting us. This will be boosting our recovery, so we start to get that health back quicker and quicker. Next, we use Bulwark Finisher. Tucking any Orb of Power causes you to gain 1 temporary armor charge. Final blows generate an overshield. So this way, if you are doing a final blow, you're getting an overshield. Consumes 3 or more stacks of armor charge, granting a longer duration to the overshield for each charge consumed. So this will, if you do get that melee kill, you know, you get that extended reach melee kill, all of a sudden you get yourself a overshield. And then if you have 3 stacks of armor charge, consuming 3 stacks can give you a super long overshield. And then of course, my favorite mod they've added to this season, Powerful Attraction, automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. So you go, you do that dodge, get yourself a little bit of health, then you're gonna be bringing those orbs into you. You're gonna be getting that health already with the Font of Restoration. You'll be bringing your abilities back up. You'll have that super getting ready. You have everything cooking. So it's just an amazing, amazing perk. Every build I believe I have right now, I have Powerful Attraction on it. I just don't have very many things that I find better than that to put in a build, because Orbs of Power are so crucial in so many aspects, whether to you know, in some builds give you volatile rounds, or to give you health, or to give you more your ability back quicker, or to get your super back quicker. An easy way to gain your orbs is just OP in my opinion. And so having this is definitely a must on every build, no matter what build that you're running. Like I said, I run it on my Void builds, on my Solar builds, on my Arc builds, on my Shram build that's coming out soon. I also have a Stasis build in the work as well. But that's it, guys. There's a look at my build that turns you into an Arc Thunder God, complete God mode. The link to the dim loadout will be in the description. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this build. Tell me what you'll change. Tell me how stupid I am for not running Assassin's Cowl instead of the Wormhusk Crown. Leave a thumbs up, like, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing for 500 subs. Please hit that subscribe button. Every little bit helps. Every minute you watch this helps. If you lasted this long, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, say what's up. Stop by the Twitch, stop by the Kick. Like I said, I stream there 3 to 5 days a week. I play with everybody. I talk to everybody. I try to have fun with everybody. Come on, hang out. Let's run a raid. Let's run a dungeon. Let's just play some Crucible, whatever you want to do. But let me know what y'all think of this build in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Your boy, Old Man Sim out. Peace. Oh, he just fucking made me do a fuck. That's how I dance in real life, bro. Just like that.